offense relied heavily on Dak Prescott in the passing game to move the ball last night. Dak had nearly 400 yards passing, along with 3 TDs, but down 4 with a minute and a half remaining. The Cowboys chose to run it twice from the Vikings 11, which resulted in a loss of 3 yards. On 4th down, Dak would throw an incompletion to Zeke, and Jason Garrett said he didn't want to get into all of the details of the play when asked about it after the game. So, Skip, how much is Jason Garrett to blame for the loss?
A whole lot. Jason Garrett is to blame for 5 and 4, a whole lot, because this team again and again.
The 5 or the 4?
The 4, obviously, because this team is rarely ready to play at kickoff. Jason Garrett's voice has gone stale in that locker room, and you have played for teams where after a while you don't even listen to what he's saying. They were not emotionally or psychologically ready for a huge Sunday night game against a really good football team in their house. They came out flat on defense once again. And I'm going to remind you that of those 9 games, only twice have they jumped out to leads. One was against the Dolphins when they were just a joke. They're no longer a joke, those Dolphins, but they were a joke when they played Dallas and several other teams. But the only other time they jumped on somebody, and it was at home on a Sunday night, was after Doug Peterson did what Jason Garrett is incapable of. Doug Peterson motivated the Dallas Cowboys by predicting a victory, guaranteeing a victory at Jerry World on a Sunday night because they had stunk it up the week before, and he got defensive on his radio gig and said, we're going to go down there and we're going to win that game. And it took that to light a new fire under my team. And I told you before, Jason Garrett couldn't motivate a rodeo bull coming out of the chute. And that's pretty hard not to do. But my defense is rarely ready to play at kickoff, and it's hard to watch. I know you're rooting against them, but if you're rooting for them, it just squeezes your guts to have to sit back and watch. They're flat. They're not ready to go. They can't tackle Dalvin Cook. And I know he's really good, and he's leading the league in rushing, but you've seen teams come out with fire and intensity and focus and emotion and just overwhelm a visiting team. They weren't ready to do that. And I'll give you this, on offense, they don't play with real early urgency. Dak is at his best when he's the hopeless underdog, fighting.
When he's behind and they're throwing every play? Oh, okay.
It's a little different.
Well, he's really good at that because I'm not sure there's anybody better than that. But I don't give Jason Garrett any credit for the wins because I've told you from the start, he just goes along for the ride. He's Coach Clap. He just stands over there clapping.
This is the part that's confusing to me. He gets no credit for the wins, but you give him all the blame. How?
Give him all the blame?
Yes.
Because they come out flat again and again. At some point, Jerry Jones has to sit back and say, boy, I love Jason like a son, but this team needs a new voice, a new urgency, somebody to shake up a locker room the way Jimmy Johnson, and Jerry knows how Jimmy used to shake that locker room up.
But Jerry doesn't want that kind of personality as head coach. Because the guy that can do that, a Sean Payton, a Coach Belichick, a Mike Tomlin, those type of coaches, you don't tell them what to run, when to run it, who to play, and how to play them. That's what Jerry does. That's why Jerry has Jason Garrett. That's what he paid for.
And then what did we see late last night in the game? We saw 2 things happen. How about when they finally did stop Minnesota on its last possession, and now it's time to maybe get the Hail Mary. And there's a punt to Tavon Austin. Tavon Austin can still fly. This is coaching. This is a head coaching error because he was instructed to fair catch it no matter what because the time is running low.
That's what you do, yes.
But you have to give him the option. If he's got a 20-yard cushion and he can fly, I'll bet you could still time 4-4. I'll bet you could.
But here's the thing.
We saw him return one against Seattle in the playoffs.
We've seen this so many times. This is what Coach Belichick does. In the punt situation or the kick situation, the time is my friend. I don't want any time to run off the clock. We fair catch it, and then we give Tom as maximum amount of time as we possibly can. So he did what was instructed. He played it right.
Well, he looked at the sidelines like...
Was it right then in your eyes?
Well, looking back at it, I mean, hindsight's a perfect science. It's either look back and says, man, they had the wall set up. Because it looked like normally they set the wall up to their bench.
You let that little man get a running start, he's going to be hard to tackle. It's possible he could have broken completely away.
But here's the thing. Okay, what happens? He catches the ball. and he runs and he fumbles it. The coach should have instructed him to fair catch it.
Yeah.
You see, Jason Garrett can't win.
Yeah.
If he does it right, if he plays it, well, Jerry wants him to go for it. That's what got him in trouble a lot, because he goes for it more than he normally would, more than even maybe the coach's manual say you should.
Okay.
Because he's trying to please Jerry. Skip, he understands. I'm coaching for my job here. And he's not doing himself
I don't think he thinks that. I think he's made man, man. I think he's a son to Jerry.
He'd be a made man if he had a 3-year deal. Skip, my only problem is, and I've said it before, all the blame that this man gets, he doesn't motivate, he doesn't have an imagination. Now, they got rid of Scott Linehan because they say he was more of a Tony Romo guy. He didn't have the connection that Kellen Moore and Dak Prescott have. They didn't say anything about Jason Garrett. Now, Chris Richard, Rod Marinelli, they handle the defense. 2 fiery, brimstone-type guys.
I'm not sure Chris is, but Marinelli definitely. He's more that. And Chris Richard has got a chance to be a head coach in this league. Okay. But I don't see fire from him.
So how did Jason Garrett come into that?
Well,
you think? Let me ask you a question. You think Sean McVay is over there, and Wade Phillips talking about Wade, you need to get the defense going? No, he said, Wade, you got that. Jason Garrett said, Rod Marinelli, Chris Richard, y'all got that. He said, Kellen Moore. Hold on. He did. Jason Garrett didn't fire Scott Linehan. Jerry Jones did and hired Kellen Moore. But now, a few calls don't go right. That's Jason Garrett. He overruled him, and he told him to do this.
I've told you before, the head coach has veto on run or pass.
Yes.
And I will bet you Jason Garrett had input into 2nd, 3rd, and 4th downs in which the ball was taken out of Dak's hands and tried to put in Zeke's hands. I'll bet you he signed off, and I'll bet you he called the pass to Zeke on 4th down.
I don't believe he called it. I don't believe it. It didn't go, Skip, it just didn't go according to plan. Maybe. Just maybe you're not as good as you thought.
Well,
and just maybe, no, team. No, hold on. Your guy, I want you to stop doing this, because I see what you're trying to do. You're trying to isolate that. You're trying to put him over here and try to make it seem like, but guess what? Dak can't go to the Super Bowl alone. So either the Cowboys go or he's not.
This is the 4th year Dak has saved Jason Garrett's job.
Oh, my
The 4th year.
That's what it's come to?
Yep.
All right. We've been so busy talking Cowboys-Vikings, we haven't even mentioned LeBron and the Lakers. So how about we do that? How impressive was LeBron's triple-double in a losing effort, though?